Hey everyone! Today, we're gonna talk about Arby's. Yes, the fast food place. Yes, I'm serious. Now listen, I've never eaten at Arby's in my entire life, but if years of hearing opinions on the internet has taught me anything, it's that Arby's is straight chum bucket food. Like I said, I've never eaten there before, so maybe it's actually the greatest fast food ever crafted by human hands. But looking at their offerings, I kinda doubt it. Anyway, at this point, you're probably wondering, yeah, why the fuck are you talking about Arby's? It's my favorite fast food place of all time, and you're really offending me. Yes, you all said that, by the way. All of you. Well, I'm glad you asked. Arby's hate is always a thing on the internet, but every few years, it seems to bubble over a little bit and become a bit of a trending topic for a few weeks. This actually just recently happened over on TikTok, where it became a meme to go to Arby's, order the most disgusting meat mountain you could possibly think of, and enjoy it all while listening to music by Rod Wave. Who the fuck is Rod Wave? I have no idea. I'm convinced he just spawned in one day. But from what I can gather, he's basically the Arby's of music, so you can probably see the connection. All of this eventually combined to form what is known as the Arby's takeover meme, where people started AI generating fake posters for a made-up Arby's promotional event, hosted by none other than Rod Wave. Most of these posters are generated in this weird, oversaturated style that looks like they were deep fried 15 times, and usually feature lightning or some other random shit in the background. I bring up the style of these posters because it's actually not exclusive to this meme alone. In fact, this style of AI brain rot image has been popular for almost a year at this point. With the introduction of image sharing and comment sections on a bunch of major apps, it has become very common to see one of these bizarre AI images, especially on any sort of shitpost video. Like just the other day, I found a slideshow on TikTok with this very cute looking cat, and the top comment is one of these AI images of the same cat. Is that really his name? Anyway, I bring all of this up for a reason, and that reason is, I think I have found the worst AI image ever prompted. And it's linked to both this weird genre of images as a whole and the Arby's takeover. Well, okay, it's not exactly one image in particular, but more specifically, it's a set of images born out of the complete and utter degradation of the Arby's takeover meme. Like, okay, it starts out simple enough with stuff like this. You got Rod Wave, you got Arby's, everything makes sense in the context of what the joke is. It's still AI slop, but it's somewhat grounded AI slop. This image then devolves into shit like this, which then devolves into shit like this, and finally we have whatever the fuck this is. What do you even want me to say about this? Like, what the fuck? The term AI slop gets thrown around a lot these days, and for good reason, mind you. But this, folks, is the definition of AI slop. Go look up AI slop in the dictionary right now. A picture of the search results for Arby's takeover is right there. Okay, that was a lie, but it should be. Seeing these images over the past few weeks and slowly watching them get worse and worse has made me think, how did we even get here? How did we get to a point where every comment section is flooded with these corny ass AI images, and the pinnacle of comedy on the internet for a week is this? Well, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, strap in. Allow me to take you on a journey as I walk you through the birth of this genre of image and how we went from this to this. This is the history of the worst AI images ever. This has gotta be the stupidest video idea I've ever had. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe, because if you don't, you'll be forced to eat 15 Arby's meat mountains in 30 minutes. If you fail, death. Sorry, not my rules. But first, this video is sponsored by Raycon. Good news, everyone! The weather's finally getting nicer. Well, you know, unless you live somewhere where it's nice all the time, then I guess this doesn't apply. Couldn't be me, though. Anyway, what better way to celebrate the nice weather than by going outside, taking a walk, and listening to all your favorite songs, podcasts, or whatever on your Raycon bone conduction headphones. They use off-ear audio, sending sound through vibrations in your bones. Your ears stay open to the world around you while you still get crystal clear music, podcasts, or calls. I've used them while on a walk before, and they are perfect for staying safe and being aware of your surroundings without compromising great sound. They're also built for all-day use, being both IP68 waterproof and dustproof, alongside having a 13-hour battery life. And here's the kicker. Raycon gives you premium performance without the premium price tag. Their quality rivals the big audio brands, but at half the cost. Plus, they come with a 30-day happiness guarantee, so you have nothing to lose trying out Raycon. The bone conduction headphones are the perfect addition to your fitness routine. Go to buyraycon.com/uhyeahbc to get 15% off the bone conduction headphones. Thank you to Raycon for sponsoring this video. Alright, so how do I even tackle this? Well, for starters, even well before AI image generation became commonplace, memes that are kind of similar to these images have always just been around. You have deep fried memes, this low tier god one, and even shit like those videos where people would spam laser eye CapCut filters on clips of young Sheldon. So with that in mind, these new AI ones are kind of just a natural progression of a trend we've been seeing in online internet humor for ages at this point. While this is probably true, it doesn't really make for an interesting YouTube video. So, we're gonna take a different route. I would instead like to take a look at the specific events that unfolded, which eventually led to the birth of the current version of this meme. And that all starts with everyone's favorite totally not run into the ground joke from 2025. We gotta talk about 6'7". I'm sure a lot of you watching are somewhat aware of the origins of this meme, considering you could barely escape it when it was at its peak in relevance. But allow me to quickly go over its backstory for those who are unaware. The actual term 6'7" originates from a song by artist Skrilla called Doot Doot. In the song, get this, he says 6'7". I know, mind-blowing stuff. I actually have no idea what 6'7" even refers to in the context of Doot Doot, and I don't care either, so I'm not looking it up. Eventually, the song, specifically the 6'7" part, started to go viral on short-form video platforms, which led to it being used in a ton of basketball edits. These themselves ended up going super viral, and eventually, 6'7" just became a common phrase among Gen Alpha and probably some late Gen Z. This then all came together in one nuclear-level event where at what I think was a school basketball game, a video was filmed of the now infamous 6'7" kid, which I'm sure is a video you've all seen in some way at this point. From that moment onwards, 6'7" breached its containment and went fully mainstream. And now a year after the joke started, they're selling 6'7" chicken nuggets at grocery stores? So you know what? Probably a net positive for society, right? Who's with me? I'm getting a bit ahead of myself though. To get to where we need to go for this video, we need to rewind a bit from the chicken nuggets and take a look at what happened shortly after the 6'7" kid video blew up across social media. I guess someone saw this video, had cartoonish steam coming out of their ears in anger, and decided to vent their frustration by creating this image, which basically just turns the kid into a fucking Doors entity. It's very easy to look at this from an outside perspective, but I genuinely cannot fathom being on the other side of this, and having shit like this made of my real face. With that said, here's a picture of me if you wanted to do that to me. Anyway, this picture is patient zero of all the memes we're going to soon talk about. Everything we're going over today somehow stems from this singular image. This initial image led to what is commonly known now as the SCP-6'7" meme, where this edited photo of the 6'7" kid was taken to its literal extremes, turning him into some kind of planet-eating monster or cryptid. These are fucking terrifying, by the way. Y'all were on some shit cooking up this. While this was going on, an offshoot of the original edit was also being formed in real time, which are these super exaggerated, AI-generated versions that try their best to look as crazy as possible. We've gone from a weirdly altered photo of some kid to whatever the fuck these are. You can already see here the birth of this AI slop image style, with the monocolor look mixed with the lightning everywhere and a bunch of other random shit. I really don't have anything to say about these, other than they are absolutely insane. But that's definitely the point, so mission accomplished, I guess? Now, I kind of need a word to describe this genre of AI image, so for the remainder of this video, I will be coining this genre of image as lightning slop, since, surprisingly, there actually isn't any sort of widely agreed upon term for them. You'd think there would be, but somehow this shit was just able to sneak into meme culture over the course of a year and nobody noticed. Everyone was just like, I guess this was just here the whole time for every meme ever, when like, no, not at all. So anyway, lightning slop stayed a 6'7" kid exclusive meme for a little bit, but with so many people generating these edits, it was bound to find its way into other memes as well, which is exactly what happened. I'm sure there are probably other examples from this era, but my mind went to one meme in particular that I think best shows the transition phase of lightning slop.
Adrian, explain our friend group. We are Ohio. In Ohio. Oh, yeah.
Adrian Explain Our Friend Group is a meme that actually predates 6'7" by a little bit. It's this clip of two guys at school being recorded by someone who simply asks Adrian to explain their friend group. Then the guy who was not Adrian, I know it's confusing, starts yapping about Ohio or some shit, I don't know. It's from that era of only in Ohio memes. It got popular around the time of the original clip being uploaded, but then in 2025, it randomly became popular again after people started ironically reposting it and using it in other random brain rot videos. This was a very odd era, that's all I'll say. The revival of this meme just so happened to have a bit of overlap with the 6'7" lightning slop images going viral. So around this time, we started seeing Adrian and his friend randomly being thrown in these lightning slop images. For like no reason, just because, I guess? This variant of the meme had the same trajectory as the original, with it starting out with simple lightning effects and a purple hue being applied to the screenshot, until it eventually just evolved into random absurd shit that turned the guys into weird AI-generated monsters. This aspect of lightning slop eventually kind of just dies off, but early examples really focused on generating the memes so much to the point where the people in them were unrecognizable demons. Even though the Adrian Explain Our Friend Group meme has literally nothing to do with 6'7" at all, it was still heavily linked to it in terms of the lightning slop images being generated at the time. At this point in the timeline, lightning slop was still a 6'7" exclusive meme, basically just being an offshoot of the wider SCP-6'7" trend. But this would all soon change. A little bit later in 2025, TikTok went through this really weird phase where a new meme was being made popular every day. These were mostly all just random clips from TV shows and movies, and the beginning of all of that was the now infamous "My Mother Ate Fries" meme. Remember those Young Sheldon CapCut edits I mentioned earlier? This meme is essentially just that, but replace Young Sheldon with Everybody Hates Chris. It's hard to even explain what the actual joke behind this meme is, because there kind of isn't one. The clip in question that went viral isn't particularly funny or anything, but I think that's kind of the point. The joke is basically a bunch of people collectively working together to see if they can make the most random shit become a meme for no reason. And considering how popular this was for a few weeks, I'd say they were successful. Other examples from this same era are the "I'm a Dude Man" meme and the "Chicken Stars" meme, which are also just clips from movies that literally mean nothing outside of the context of what was going on TikTok at the time. So, how does any of this relate to lightning slop? Well, since SCP-6'7", Adrian Explain Our Friend Group, and all of these memes I just talked about went viral around the same time, you can probably imagine that some people would have the bright idea to copy the same lightning slop format from those earlier memes and apply them to these newer memes. This really shouldn't be a surprise to anyone, as the life cycle of practically every meme ever eventually leads to variants of it being created. Whether those variants are funny or not is another story entirely. And since these lightning slop images were kind of like never that funny to begin with, you can probably figure out what I think of these new variants. Now, I'm saying all of this, but these new variants of lightning slop weren't crazy popular or anything. Like, you'd see one in a comment section every now and then, but it didn't really seem to catch on like the earlier versions with the 6'7" kid. This would all change, however, because of a single TikToker. This is one of the most undocumented aspects of this entire story, mainly because I don't think people have really given it much thought, which, like, fair, but I believe that one TikTok user in particular is responsible for the modern lightning slop epidemic we have today. And that TikToker is...
Livy just convinced Baby Gronk to commit to LSU. Livy rizzed him up. Livy even hugged Baby Gronk. He might be the new Riz King. Do you think Baby Gronk will lead LSU to a national championship?
I don't know, man. I can barely figure out what I'm gonna eat for dinner every day. You can't be asking me stuff like this. If you can recall the earliest days of what we now know as brain rot, you probably remember the phrase, Baby Gronk rizzing up Livy Dunn. You likely haven't thought about that for a while, but that phrase is basically ground zero for every modern brain rot meme we currently have. Basically what I'm trying to say is that Triple T being in Fortnite is because of this guy.
Mr. 6'7" just got revenge on the 6'7" kid. After the 6'7" kid called out Mr. 6'7" on the Bobo podcast, Mr. 6'7" sent people to
Hoopify is a TikToker known best for making short videos explaining memes. In the early days of his career, particular, he made videos exclusively covering sports brain rot, which is where the whole Baby Gronk thing comes from. The existence of that entire joke comes from a video that this guy made on those two people. If you had ever seen a video of this guy pre-mid 2025, it was probably something to do with that. A big reason why that meme blew up in the first place, outside of the phrase just sounding batshit crazy, is the way Hoopify delivers his scripts for his videos. He kinda talks like this, and drags out every couple words, which makes him really annoying to listen to. He does that voice strictly for the videos, by the way. He doesn't actually sound like that. Shocking, I know. He definitely just does it for engagement bait, and unsurprisingly, it definitely works. Hoopify would stay in his niche for quite a while, but eventually, the sports brain rot would stop being as successful, and Hoopify needed to shift his content to something different. This would come in the form of him covering all brain rot memes instead of just sports ones, which was a pretty obvious direction to go in. So, he kept making videos in his signature, slightly annoying style, and would see some new success with the content shift. Up until this point though, Hoopify and Lightning Slop had not crossed paths at all, and that actually wouldn't happen until he created a secondary TikTok account, Hooper Valley. This account would be used by Hoopify to ask people what memes they wanted to see him cover, and for him to run scripts and ideas by the general public before they were turned into actual Hoopify videos. All of this secondary account stuff was happening around the same time that all the memes I mentioned earlier were still relevant, so you shouldn't be surprised to find out that he eventually made videos on literally all of them, and that includes My Mother Ate Fries. That meme in particular is actually super important for this story, because its existence indirectly ended up making the Lightning Slop epidemic even more widespread than it was before. Here's what happened. One day, Hoopify starts uploading a bunch of videos on his second account, asking his followers what meme they wanted to see him cover on Hoopify next.
Guys, I do a Hoopify video on Incredible Gassy. It's like Mr. Incredible, but like...
One of these options was, of course, My Mother Ate Fries. What's funny about this one is that the top comments on this video are actually telling him not to make a video on it. But I guess there was nothing better to do, because only a few hours later, Hoopify uploaded a video showing off that he had completed the script. This video itself isn't actually that important though. What is important is what the top comment on this video is. It's a simple image comment from TikTok user Mason631 that says, "Add this picture." The attached picture? A Lightning Slop image based on the My Mother Ate Fries meme. And Hoopify hearted it. This right here was truly the beginning of the end. And I don't even think poor Mason could have predicted that. As the heart on this comment would suggest, Hoopify would indeed use this video in his video on My Mother Ate Fries. And then he'd do it again, and again, and again, until every video from that point forward featured a Lightning Slop image at the end of them. Not only would these videos get pretty damn good views, but it was actually Hoopify himself that was asking people to generate these images over on his second account. So he would encourage people to generate him Lightning Slop for videos, creating a large amount of it for each meme he talked about, and then he would include it in his videos talking about every meme ever with millions of views. Even with all of that said though, at this point in the timeline, I wouldn't solely put the blame for its virality on Hoopify. Like, sure, he was absolutely contributing to it, whether he really realized that or not, but it didn't truly get out of control or anything at this point. But then, tragedy would strike. Hoopify would lose his voice.
This is Blue Collar SpongeBob. This is Blue Collar SpongeBob. This is Blue Collar SpongeBob.
That's right. Out of the blue one day, Hoopify would get sick and no longer be able to make his meme videos. I mean, how would he be able to continue covering new memes if his iconic voice was completely gone? Well, it's simple actually. He would get other people to do it for him. For a 9-video span ranging from September 30th to October 11th of 2025, Hoopify would have other content creators fill in for him as a sort of takeover event. This span of videos skyrocketed Hoopify into the most popularity he had ever seen, with each video in this event having well over 1 million views. The people he got to fill in for him are mostly just other TikTokers, like the Costco guys, but a few big name streamers were also part of this event, such as Jinxie and Joe Bartolozzi. The Joe video in particular, where he was asked to cover the Chicken Stars meme I mentioned earlier, racked up an insane 15.6 million views, making it the biggest video of the event by far. So, where am I going with all this? What does this have to do with Lightning Slop? Well, like I said earlier, after the My Mother Ate Fries video, Hoopify began placing Lightning Slop images at the end of all of his videos, which includes all 9 takeover videos. So at this crazy peak in popularity for Hoopify, where millions of people were tuning into the takeover videos, all of those people also saw the lightning slop images at the end of them. This, my friends, is what I believe is the major event that finally pushed lightning slop out of the 6-7 bubble and into the mainstream meme scene. Not only were more people than ever before seeing lightning slop, but now even more people were generating it themselves to try and get into one of these Hoopify videos. Even after the takeover event ended and Hoopify got his voice back, he continued to add these images to all his videos, some of which also have crazy view counts. And after all of that, it's safe to say the damage was already done. Fast forward to today, and Hoopify has actually moved on from only putting lightning slop pictures at the end of his videos. But ironically enough, the most recent one at the time of me writing this actually does use a lightning slop image. So I guess if you're born in the slop, you truly die in the slop. In a post-Hoopify takeover world, lightning slop has become commonplace across all TikTok meme comment sections. And there's even been a couple memes entirely based around it that I should probably mention. There's the golden dandelion meme, which stemmed from a video by Minecraft content creator Camman18, and like 70% of that meme's existence is just lightning slop. There's also a new one that like just spawned in the other day, which is basically just golden dandelion 2.0 but for some Roblox TikToker. I don't know. I have nothing to say about these really, but they're both pivotal events in the spread of lightning slop, so I thought it'd be dumb not to mention them. Finally, we have the Arby's takeover meme, bringing us all the way back to where we started this. I guess it's fitting that the whole point of that joke is to take lightning slop to extremes it's never seen before, considering that's basically been the life of the trend the entire time. The Arby's takeover stuff is so crazy though that maybe, just maybe, it'll truly run the joke into the ground and will be free from the lightning slop. But only time will tell. And that, folks, is the history of the worst AI images ever created. This has gotta be the stupidest video I've ever made.